of the Republic of Slovenia.
Tantum verde lajša bolečino in oteklino pri vnetju v ustni votlini in žrelu.
Pred uporabo natančno preberite navodilo. O tveganju in neželenih učinkih se posvetujte z zdravnikom ali s farmacevtom.
Onitek zdravilni lak za zdravljenje zmernih do blagih glivičnih okužb nohtov. Brez piljenja, brez odstranjevanja laka. Onitek. Resne težave imajo lahko tudi enostavno rešitev. Pred uporabo natančno preberite navodilo. O tveganju in neželenih učinkih se posvetujte z zdravnikom ali farmacevtom.
Pogum padalcev iz oddaljenega Izraela, na dnevi prijateljstva dokazujejo, da prihodnost izpisujeta ravno prijateljstvo in sočutje.
You said a very warm welcome and warm it is indeed. Rekli ste, toplo dobrodošli in toplo je res. Bomo zdržali. Spoštovana gospa županja, spoštovani gospod veleposlanik, spoštovani gospod minister, cenjene krajanke in krajani, gospe in gospodje, dragi prijatelji.
Distinguished Madam Mayor, distinguished Excellency the Ambassador, distinguished residents of Metlika, distinguished Minister, ladies and gentlemen and dear friends.
Zahvaljujem se izraelskemu predsedniku Izaku Herzogu za izrečene prijazne besede in naklonjenost skupnemu praznovanju dneva slovensko-izraelskega prijateljstva.
I wish to thank the Israeli President Isaac Herzog for his kind words and support for this joint celebration of the Slovenian-Israel Friendship Day.
Tudi sama se veselim najinega sodelovanja in si seveda želim, da bova s predsednikom Herzogom nekega dne skupaj obiskala Metliko, ki v prijateljstvu simbolno povezuje najini državi in ljudi že skoraj 80 let.
And I also look forward to our cooperation, and I hope that President Herzog and I will visit Metlika together one day, as this town has symbolically connected our countries and nations in friendship for almost 80 years now.
Kot je že poudaril predsednik Herzog, prijateljstvo med Slovenijo in Izraelom sega v temačni čas druge svetovne vojne in našega skupnega boja proti fašizmu in nacizmu.
As already emphasized by President Herzog, the friendship between Slovenia and Israel extends back to the dark times of the Second World War and our joint fight against fascism and Nazism.
V tem obdobju sta slovenski in judovski narod spletla trdne prijateljske vezi, ki trajajo še danes. To nam resnično zelo veliko pomeni. Izraelu smo hvaležni za razumevanje in aktivno podporo v času slovenskega osamosvajanja in seveda tudi vstopa v mednarodne odnose.
In that period, the Slovenian and Jewish nations forged solid ties of friendship that have lasted until today and which truly mean a lot to us. We are grateful to Israel for the understanding and active support shown at the time of Slovenian independence and entry into international relations.
Po več kot 30 letih diplomatskih odnosov med samostojno Slovenijo in samostojnim Izraelom med državama poteka reden politični dialog na vseh ravneh.
After more than 30 years of diplomatic relations between independent Slovenia and independent Israel, regular political dialogue has been taking place at all levels between our countries.
Posebej vesela sem, da prijateljstvo potrjujejo tudi živahni gospodarski odnosi, katerih začetki segajo v čas še pred našo osamosvojitvijo.
I am particularly pleased that this friendship is being further enhanced by the lively business relations which were instigated well before our independence.
Upam in želim si, da se bodo seveda še okrepili tudi v okviru zagonskega podjetništva, kjer je Izrael res svetovna velesila in je Sloveniji lahko vzor.
I hope and wish that these relations strengthen even more, including within the framework of startup entrepreneurship, in which Israel is a global force and can set an example for Slovenia.
Tradicionalno prijateljske odnose žlahtnijo sodelovanje na področjih izobraževanja, kulture in znanosti, ki so se v zadnjih letih razširili tudi na najaktualnejša področja, za katera menim, da je meddržavno sodelovanje ključno. Sem sodijo tehnološke inovacije, kibernetska varnost in seveda umetna inteligenca.
Our traditionally friendly relations are further enhanced by cooperation in the fields of education, culture, and science, and this has also expanded to the most topical fields in recent years, fields in which I believe intergovernmental cooperation is crucial. These include technological innovation, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence.
Verjamem, da vse našteto tvori temelj našega prijateljstva, obenem pa je tudi spodbuden obet za nadaljnjo krepitev odnosov med državama in ljudmi v duhu medsebojnega razumevanja in tvornega sodelovanja.
I believe that all the before-mentioned forms the foundation of our friendship and also serves as an encouraging prospect for additional strengthening of relations between our countries and nations in the spirit of mutual understanding and constructive cooperation.
Spoštovane gospe in gospodje, letošnja obeležitev dneva slovensko-izraelskega prijateljstva pa nosi še eno simbolno vez, zgodbo in usodo dveh mladih, ustvarjalnih in hrabrih poetov, ki sta v letu 1944 mnogo prezgodaj izgubila življenje.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year's celebration of the Slovenia-Israel Friendship Day consists of yet another symbolic bond, the story and destiny of two young, creative and courageous poets who lost their lives in 1944 much too soon.
Oba sta še danes simbol upora, a tudi tragični žrtvi neusmiljene vojne, v kateri smrt ne izbira.
Both still today remain a symbol of resistance, but also as tragic victims of a relentless war in which no one was spared.
Pred 2 letoma je bila prva obeležitev dneva slovensko-izraelskega prijateljstva posvečena 100. obletnici rojstva mlade judovske pesnice Hane Seneš, letošnja obeležitev pa poteka v Kajuhovem letu, ko se spominjamo življenja in dela partizanskega pesnika Karla Destovnika Kajuha.
The first commemoration of the Slovenia-Israeli Friendship Day 2 years ago was dedicated to the 100th anniversary of the birth of a young Jewish poet, Hane Seneš. This year's ceremony is taking place in the year of a partisan poet, Kajuh, in which we remember the life and work of our poet, Karel Destovnik Kajuh.
Tako kot ima Hane Seneš posebno mesto v srcih Izraelk in Izraelcev, je tudi Kajuh pustil pomemben pečat v kolektivni zavesti slovenskega naroda.
As with Seneš, who holds a special place in the hearts of the Israeli people, Kajuh left a significant impact on the collective consciousness of the Slovenian nation.
V naši pesmi je Kajuh zapisal: Moja pesem ni le moja pesem, to je krik vseh nas. Moja pesem ni le moja pesem, to je boj vseh nas.
In his poem entitled Our Poem, Kajuh writes, "My poem is not only my poem, it is a cry of us all. My poem is not only my poem, it is a fight of us all."
Hana in Karel sta s svojimi pesmimi dala glas milijonom mladih ljudi, ki so v vojni vihri izgubili vse, tudi svoje življenje. Njune pesmi so večne, ker so iskrene, vendar pa so tudi strašljivo brezčasne, čeprav bo prihodnje leto minilo že 80 let od njune prezgodnje smrti.
With their poems, Hana and Karel gave a voice to millions of young people who have lost everything in the war, even their lives. Their poems are eternal because they are sincere, but also eerily timeless, although 80 years will have passed next year since their untimely deaths.
Spoštovani, Karel Destovnik Kajuh je v naši pesmi ganljivo opisoval, kako so v tistih težkih časih mladi ostali brez mladosti. Doživljali so propad starega sveta in skrivali premnogo nad.
In our poem, Kayuh touchingly described how young people lost their youth in those difficult times. They experienced the downfall of the old world and hid numerous hopes.
Po koncu druge svetovne vojne se povsod po svetu zdi, da smo zgodovino preživeli, njene nauke pa prezrli.
After the end of the Second World War, it seems that we have survived the history and yet ignored its lessons.
Še preden je minilo 80 let od njenega konca, je njena senca zopet padla na evropska tla, kjer se je smrt. Nemir pesti tudi Bližnji vzhod in druge dele sveta. Upanja in življenja po nepotrebnem ugašajo povsod. Pred nami so zahtevni izzivi, ki jih ne bomo zmogli rešiti sami.
But before 80 years have passed since its end, its shadow has yet again been cast on European soil, where it is sowing death. The Middle East and other parts of the world are also being plagued by unrest. Hope and lives are being destroyed in vain everywhere. We are faced with demanding challenges which we will not be able to resolve on our own.
Zato na tem mestu in ob tej priložnosti kot predsednica Republike in kot mati pozivam in prosim, da si vsi skupaj obljubimo, da bomo storili vse, kar lahko in še več, da takšni verzi ne bi bili tudi izpoved generacije naših otrok ali njih otrok, da mladi nikoli več ne bi brezupno zrli v svet, ki propada.
At this point, pa lahko zaploskamo, zakaj pa ne? So at this point, on this occasion, I, as the President of the Republic of Slovenia and as a mother, call on everyone and ask all of us to promise to do everything we can and more so that such verses do not become the declaration of the generation of our children and their children, so that young people never again look hopelessly into a decaying world.
Sama iskreno verjamem, da vsi, predvsem tisti, ki ste nam ljudje zaupali, da vas vodimo, zmoremo drugače, bolje, z več modrosti in sočutja drug do drugega, z več spoštljivosti in razumevanja tistega, kar nam je vsem skupno, želja po človeškem dostojanstvu.
I sincerely believe that everyone, especially those of us to whom you entrusted the leadership, is able to act differently, to be better, with more wisdom and compassion towards one another, with more respect and understanding towards what we have in common, the desire for human dignity.
Biti upanje in to obljubo izpolnjevati v svojih dejanjih. To je odgovornost nas, voditeljev in tudi vseh, ki tvorimo to družbo.
To be that hope and to fulfill that promise through our actions, this is the responsibility of all of us, the leaders, and also of everyone who is a part of society.
K izpolnitvi tega plemenitega cilja vodi mednarodno sodelovanje, medsebojno spoštovanje, razumevanje in, verjemite mi, tudi potrpežljivost.
International cooperation, mutual respect, understanding and patience, and believe me that patience is important, lead to the fulfillment of this noble objective.
Odločitev o tem, kako bomo naslavljali nesoglasja med nami, pa je zgolj naša. To, spoštovane gospe in gospodje, je tista najpomembnejša moč, ki jo imamo čisto vsi. Da se lahko svobodno odločimo, kako bomo ravnali in s tem prispevamo k boljšemu svetu in lepši prihodnosti.
The decision on how to address our mutual disagreements must be made by ourselves exclusively. Dear ladies and gentlemen, this is the most important power we all possess, to be able to decide freely about how to act and subsequently contribute to a better world and brighter future.
Torej prihodnosti, kjer bo tako, kot je Kayuh sklenil našo pesem, pa je vendar sreča biti mlad in poln nad.
This is the future that will reflect the ending of the poem that Kayuh wrote. And yet, It is a blessing to be young and full of hopes.
Spoštovane gospe in gospodje, hvala, da ste se odzvali vabilu veleposlanika države Izrael, županje občine Metlika in mojemu vabilu ter se udeležili nocojšnje slovesnosti.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for responding to the invitation of the Israeli ambassador, the mayor of the municipality of Metlika and myself, and you are attending today's celebration.
Ob tej priložnosti se želim iskreno zahvaliti vam, spoštovana gospa županja, in vašim sodelavkam in sodelavcem, ki tako srčno sodelujete pri pripravi slovesnosti. Hvala tudi vam, Belokranke in Belokranci, ki že več generacij ohranjate spomin na Hano Seneš.
On this occasion, I wish to sincerely thank you, dear Madam Mayor, and your colleagues who are so wholeheartedly committed to the preparation of this ceremony. And thank you to all the citizens of Bela Krajina who have preserved the memory of Hane Seneš for several generations.
Ste zagotovo veter v krilih tega našega prijateljstva, prijateljstva med našima državama.
You are undoubtedly the wind beneath the wings of this friendship of ours, the friendship between both our countries.
Hvaležna sem seveda tudi izraelskemu veleposlaniku Bokarju in njegovi ekipi za podporo pri tej obeležitvi in za poslanstvo, ki ga skupaj s slovensko veleposlanico Andrejo Purkart-Martinez opravljata pri krepitvi odnosov med Slovenijo in Izraelom.
I am also grateful to Israeli ambassador, Mr. Bukar, and his team for supporting the celebration and his mission, performed together with Slovenian ambassador Andreja Purkart-Martinez, of enhancing relations between Slovenia and Israel. Thank you.
In za konec, dragi prijatelji, obstajajo zvezde, katerih žar je viden na zemlji, čeprav so že davno ugasle. Obstajajo ljudje, katerih sijaj še vedno osvetljuje svet, čeprav jih ni več med živimi. Te luči so še posebej svetle, ko je noč temna. Osvetljujejo pot človeštvu.
In conclusion, dear friends, there are stars whose radiance is visible on earth, even though they have long been extinct. There are people whose brilliance continues to light the world, even though they are no longer among the living. These lights are particularly bright when the night is dark. They light the way for humanity.
Takšni svetli luči sta narodna heroja Hana in Karel, z upanjem in iskreno željo, da so te Hanine besede, ki sem jih ravnokar izrekla, besede navdiha vsem nam, da bomo drug drugemu osvetljevali pot v boljšo prihodnost, in ob zaključku vam seveda želim lepo nadaljevanje slovesnosti in tega večera. Hvala lepa.
Such bright lights were the national heroes, Karel and Hana, and I hope and sincerely wish that these words written by Hana that I have just read to you serve as an inspiration to all of us when lighting the way for each other into a better future. And at the end, of course, I wish you a pleasant continuation of our celebration and a pleasant evening.
Hvala lepa.
Thank you.
Najlepša hvala, gospa predsednica.
Tantum verde lajša bolečino in oteklino pri vnetju v ustni votlini in žrelu.
Pred uporabo natančno preberite navodilo. O tveganju in neželenih učinkih se posvetujte z zdravnikom ali s farmacevtom.
Onitek zdravilni lak za zdravljenje zmernih do blagih glivičnih okužb nohtov. Brez piljenja, brez odstranjevanja laka. Onitek. Resne težave imajo lahko tudi enostavno rešitev. Pred uporabo natančno preberite navodilo. O tveganju in neželenih učinkih se posvetujte z zdravnikom ali farmacevtom.
Spoštovana predsednica Republike Slovenije, gospa Nataša Pirc Musar. Spoštovani veleposlanik države Izrael, gospod Zev Bukar.
Distinguished President of the Republic of Slovenia, Nataša Pirc Musar, distinguished Ambassador of the State of Israel, Mr. Zev Bukar.
Spoštovani visoki gostje in ostali obiskovalci slovesnosti ob dnevu slovensko-izraelskega prijateljstva, dobrodošli v Metliki.
Distinguished guests attending the Slovenian-Israeli Friendship Day ceremony, a warm welcome into this part of the country. Welcome to Metlika.
Iskreno dobrodošli v občini Metlika, na območju katere se je v drugi svetovni vojni odvijala junaška zgodba, ki nas je povezala v plemenitem boju zoper skupnega sovražnika.
Welcome to Metlika, where a heroic story took place during the Second World War, uniting us in a noble struggle against a common enemy.
Danes je pomemben dan, ko se zavedamo, kaj nas je povezovalo v preteklosti, kaj nas v sedanjosti in kaj nas bo povezovalo tudi v prihodnosti. Štejemo si v veliko čast, da lahko danes tukaj že tretjič zapovrstjo gostimo prijatelje Izraela in Slovenije, združene v skupnem spominu na boj obeh držav proti nacizmu in fašizmu v drugi svetovni vojni.
Today is an important day when we realize what united us in the past, what unites us in the present, and what will unite us in the future. We consider it a great honor to host here the friends from Israel and Slovenia for the third time in a row, united in the memory of the common struggle of both countries against Nazism and fascism in the Second World War.
Izraelska narodna herojinja Hane Seneš je imela srčnost poeta in moč upornice. To mlado dekle je bila človek dejanj. Sledila je svojemu klicu, delovala z notranjo močjo, da se zoperstavi zlu. Ravnala je po svoji vesti in s presežkom vere, da dela prav. Delala je s pomočjo prepričanja vase in zaupanja v soljudi. Ni čakala na čudežno pomoč od drugod, marveč je svojo in našo usodo vzela v svoje roke. Zato je premnogim navdih, zato je naša junakinja simbol nesebičnosti in vere v plemenitost človeškega duha.
Israel's national hero, Hane Seneš, had the heart of a poet and the strength of a rebel. This young girl was a person of action. She followed her calling, acting from inner strength to stand up against evil. She acted from her conscience, from faith, that this is the right thing to do. She acted with the strength of belief in herself and trust in her fellow human beings. She did not wait for miraculous help from somewhere else, but took her destiny and ours into her own hands. That is why she is an inspiration to so many. This is why she's our hero, a symbol of selflessness and faith in the greatness of human spirit.
Pred 80 leti so se borili za svobodo in mir. Dan danes pa se v areni mednarodnih odnosov velikokrat zdi, da se iz pretresljivih dogodkov pretekle zgodovine nismo naučili ničesar. Svobodo jemljemo kot samoumevno in pozabljamo, kako visoko ceno smo v preteklosti plačali zanjo.
8 years ago, they fought for freedom, but today, in the world of international relations, it often seems that we have learned nothing from the shocking events of the past. Freedom is taken for granted, and the high price paid for it in the past is forgotten.
Želim si, da bi vsaj nekaj plemenitih Haninih značajskih lastnosti našli v sebi. Jih vsakodnevno negovali, jih nesebično delili, ohranjali pokončnost, iskren srčni pogum in požrtvovalnost ter se rešili strahu in jadikovanja. Le na ta način bomo lahko premagali grožnjo egoizma in malodušja in kot človeštvo obstali.
I wish that we find some of Hannah's noble character traits in ourselves, nurture them daily, share them selflessly, maintain integrity, and we keep sincere courage of heart and selflessness, and get rid ourselves of fear and despair. Only in this way will we be able to overcome the threat of selfishness and despair and endure as humanity.
Nujno je spoštovanje in sodelovanje med občani, državljani in z drugimi narodi. Le strpnost med ljudmi in jasna vizija skupnega napredka imata vrednost in smisel.
Respect and cooperation between citizens and nations is essential. Only tolerance between people and a clear vision of common progress have value and meaning.
Naša skupna želja je, da bi se na današnjem prijateljskem dogodku s hvaležnostjo poklonili spominu na pogumne in človekoljubne posameznike, ter tudi, da na tak način izkažemo globoko povezanost in naklonjenost slovenskega in izraelskega naroda ter spodbudili medsebojno sodelovanje na kulturnem, gospodarskem, znanstvenem in športnem področju.
It is our common wish today to pay tribute to the memory of these heroes with gratitude and to demonstrate our deep affinity and affection between the Slovenian and Israeli nations and to foster our cooperation in the fields of economics, culture, science and sports.
Cenjeni gostje, želim si, da bi vam današnja slovesnost ostala v lepem spominu na Slovenijo, na Belo krajino in na ljudi tukaj. Veseli nas in navdaja s ponosom, da lahko gostimo današnji dogodek in počaščeni bomo, če nas obiščete še kdaj.
Distinguished guests, I wish that today's ceremony will leave you with fond memories of Slovenia, of Bela krajina and of people here. We are delighted and proud to host today's event and we would be truly honored if you visit us again in the future.
Vsem skupaj želim prijetno druženje in srčno praznovanje današnjega dneva prijateljstva. Hvala
I wish
vam.
all of you a pleasant stay here with us and a heartfelt celebration of our friendship. Thank you so much.
Hvala, gospa županja.
Tantum verde lajša bolečino in oteklino pri vnetju v ustni votlini in žrelu.
Pred uporabo natančno preberite navodilo. O tveganju in neželenih učinkih se posvetujte z zdravnikom ali s farmacevtom.
Onitek zdravilni lak za zdravljenje zmernih do blagih glivičnih okužb nohtov. Brez piljenja, brez odstranjevanja laka. Onitek. Resne težave imajo lahko tudi enostavno rešitev. Pred uporabo natančno preberite navodilo. O tveganju in neželenih učinkih se posvetujte z zdravnikom ali farmacevtom.
President Musar, Mr. Mayor, ambassadors, distinguished guests, dear friends, I'm so delighted to share my warmest greetings from Jerusalem as you gather in beautiful Metlika to celebrate an equally beautiful event, the third annual Slovenia-Israel Friendship Day. Here, now, we continue a tradition that began under President Pachor, proudly marking the bonds of friendship between our two nations. Dear President Musar, I'm so thrilled that we are carrying this tradition forward. I'm also very excited about our contact, and I truly hope to see you soon. And even though I regret being unable to join you in person, I'm so grateful for your presence today. I know that working together, we can continue to bring the relationship between Slovenia and Israel to new heights, and I wish you continued success in your role. Dear friends, the ties between our nations go back generations, predating even the official establishment of our states. We will forever be connected by the sacrifices of our parents and their brave story amidst the ugly forces of Nazism and fascism in Europe in those days, 8 decades ago. I'm deeply touched that Slovenia has embraced the story of Hane Seneš and her heroic colleagues. Their courage knew no bounds, and they continue to inspire us as testament to the potential heights of human bravery. It is especially fitting that a representative of the Hane Seneš house is participating this year in the event. The strength of our past holds great power and promise to our present and future. And in fact, there's a great deal of potential for exchange and cooperation between our nations. So much is already being done now, and hopefully so much more in the future. Thriving commercial, scientific, technological, and cultural collaborations allow us to join hands and to be so much more than each of us would be alone. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate Slovenia on its recent election to the United Nations Security Council as a non-permanent member. It's a huge achievement, and I'm certain you will use your position to effectively advocate for the most pressing matters facing humanity, including climate change and water conservation. These are areas which are deeply important to the State of Israel and to me personally. Once again, on this day of celebration, let us join together to honor our past and commit ourselves to working in partnership towards a joint future of prosperity and friendship. Thank you very much. Toda rabba to all of you.
Tantum verde lajša bolečino in oteklino pri vnetju v ustni votlini in žrelu.
Pred uporabo natančno preberite navodilo. O tveganju in neželenih učinkih se posvetujte z zdravnikom ali s farmacevtom.
Onitek zdravilni lak za zdravljenje zmernih do blagih glivičnih okužb nohtov. Brez piljenja, brez odstranjevanja laka. Onitek. Resne težave imajo lahko tudi enostavno rešitev. Pred uporabo natančno preberite navodilo. O tveganju in neželenih učinkih se posvetujte z zdravnikom ali farmacevtom.
Dear President, Your Excellency Dr. Nataša Pirc Musar, dear Mayor, friend Mrs. Martina Legan-Jankovic, honorable guest, dear ministers, dear friends, dobrodošli.
Draga gospa predsednica, vaša ekscelenca, doktorica Nataša Pirc Musar, draga županja in prijateljica, gospa Martina Legan-Jankovic, spoštovani gostje, dragi prijatelji, dobrodošli.
As some of you already know, I started my mission as non-resident ambassador to Slovenia in December last year. During my 2 working visits to Slovenia in the 6 months since my accreditation, I had the privilege to visit not only Ljubljana, but also Maribor, Murska Sobota, Lendava, and Nova Gorica. In those cities, we can find some reminders of the once rich Jewish life in Slovenia. Graves of Jewish families, old synagogues, old Jewish books. Monuments that were built in the last years and decades reflect the fact that the cruelty of Second World War did not spare Jews in Slovenia.
Kot nekateri že veste, sem svojo misijo kot nerezidenčni veleposlanik v Sloveniji začel decembra lani. Na 2 delovnih obiskih v Sloveniji v 6 mesecih od svoje akreditacije sem imel čast obiskati ne le Ljubljano, ampak tudi Maribor, Mursko Soboto, Lendavo in Novo Gorico. V teh mestih lahko najdemo nekatere opomine na nekoč bogato judovsko življenje v Sloveniji, grobove judovskih družin, stare sinagoge, stare judovske knjige. Spomeniki, ki so bili postavljeni v zadnjih letih in desetletjih, kažejo, da Judom v Sloveniji krutosti 2. svetovne vojne niso bile prizanesene.
In 2021, the Slovenian-Israeli Friendship Day was celebrated for the first time. The Office of the President and the Embassy decided together for Bela Krajina, and we were warmly welcomed by the municipality of Metlika. Why is that so? Why aren't we celebrating in one of the places I named before?
Leta 2021 je bil prvič obeležen dan slovensko-izraelskega prijateljstva. Urad predsednika Republike in veleposlaništvo sta skupaj izbrala Belo krajino, kjer nas je toplo sprejela občina Metlika. Ampak zakaj je tako? Zakaj ne praznujemo v enem od prej navedenih krajev?
Being under occupation, these cities were witnessing similar tragedy as elsewhere in Europe: persecution, mass deportation, and extinctions of Jews.
Med okupacijo so ta mesta doživela podobno tragedijo kot druga mesta po Evropi, preganjanje, množične deportacije in usmrtitve Judov.
As son of Holocaust survivors, I feel specially affiliated with the resistance during Second World War. I grew up in the presence of 2 names, Yitzhak Zuckerman Antek and Sivia Lubetkin. These were 2 Jewish resistance leaders of the Warsaw Ghetto uprising. In 2001, the granddaughter, Roni Zuckerman, became the first female pilot fighter in the history of the Israeli Air Force since 1948, crucial for the defense of the State of Israel and its existence.
Kot sin preživelih holokausta se čutim še posebej povezanega z uporom med 2. svetovno vojno. Odraščal sem ob 2 imenih, Yitzhak Zuckerman, Antek in Cvija Lubetkin. To sta bila 2 izmed vodij judovskega upora, vodij vstaje v varšavskem getu. Leta 2001 je njuna vnukinja Roni Zuckerman postala prva pilotka lovskega letala v zgodovini izraelskih zračnih sil, ki so od leta 1948 ključne za obrambo Izraela in njegov obstoj.
If we would have had a Jewish state with its own army, and its own air force already during the Second World War, during the Nazi regime, the World War II would have seen less tragic for the European Jews. However, in the given historical circumstances, fighters from Eretz Israel could only contribute to their part joining missions of other countries, the Allies.
Če bi imeli judovsko državo z lastno vojsko in zračnimi silami že v času nacizma, bi bila za evropske jude druga svetovna vojna manj tragična. Vendar pa so lahko v danih zgodovinskih okoliščinah borci iz Eretz Izraela pomagali samo tako, da so se priključili misijam drugih držav.
37 parachutists, among them 3 women, Shurika Braverman, Haviva Reich and Hane Seneš, were trained by the British with the assignment of helping Jews in the occupied territories and to save pilots. Some of them were sent to their missions to Slovakia, where I later had the honor to become the first resident Israeli ambassador.
Britanci so usposobili 37 padalcev, med njimi 3 ženske. To so Šunika Braverman, Haviva Reich in Hane Seneš, z nalogo zagotavljanja pomoči judom na okupiranih ozemljih in reševanju pilotov. Nekateri so bili poslani na misijo na Slovaško, kjer sem pozneje imel čast postati prvi rezidenčni izraelski veleposlanik.
Haviva Reich was a young Jewish woman of Slovak origin who emigrated to Israel in 1939. In 1944, she returned to Slovakia and helped organizing a Jewish resistance unit. In November 1944, Haviva Reich and other parachutists from her group were captured and executed by the Nazis.
Haviva Reich je bila mlada judinja slovaškega porekla, ki se je priselila v Izrael leta 1939. Leta 1944 se je vrnila na Slovaško in pomagala organizirati judovsko uporniško enoto. Novembra 1944 pa so Havivo Reich in druge padalce iz njene skupine ujeli in ubili nacisti.
In the same year, another 7 parachutists, Hane Seneš being one of them, started the well-planned heroic mission here in Bela Krajina. While the rest of the Slovenia was under occupation, Bela Krajina was at that time a liberated territory under partisan control.
Istega leta je še 7 padalcev, med njimi Hane Seneš, začelo svojo dobro organizirano junaško misijo tukaj v Beli krajini. Medtem ko je bil preostali del Slovenije okupiran, je bila Bela krajina v tistem času osvobojeno ozemlje pod partizanskim nadzorom.
Their story is a story of courage, trust, support and cooperation between strangers, sharing same values and dreams. It was chosen to become a symbol of the friendship between our 2 states and between our 2 people.
Njihova zgodba je zgodba o pogumu, zaupanju, podpori in sodelovanju med tujci z enakimi vrednotami in sanjami. Izbrana je bila za simbol prijateljstva med našima državama in narodoma.
Allow me to thank the former president of Slovenia, Mr. Borut Pahor, and the former mayor of Metlika, Mr. Darko Zvenik, as well as my predecessor, Eyal Sela, who organized the first 2 Slovenian-Israeli Friendship Day celebration. And of course, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the new president, Mrs. President, and the new mayor of Metlika for hosting us today and cooperating with us in the decision to continue those traditions.
Dovolite, da se zahvalim nekdanjemu slovenskemu predsedniku gospodu Borutu Pahorju, nekdanjemu županu Metlike gospodu Darku Zevniku ter svojemu predhodniku Ejalu Seli, ki so organizirali prvi proslavi ob dnevu slovensko-izraelskega prijateljstva. Seveda pa se želim res iskreno zahvaliti tudi novi predsednici Republike Slovenije in novi županji Metlike za njuno odločitev, da nadaljujeta s to tradicijo in nas gostita.
It shows us that the Slovenian-Israeli friendship is stable, based on trust, support, and long-term cooperation, values that were also strong bond between Jewish parachutists and Slovenian partisans. Our friendship has continuity that should help us achieve common goals together.
To je za nas znak, da je slovensko-izraelsko prijateljstvo trdno, utemeljeno na zaupanju, podpori in dolgoročnem sodelovanju. na vrednotah, ki so bile trdna vez med judovskimi padalci in slovenskimi partizani. Naše prijateljstvo je stalnica, ki bi nam morala biti v pomoč, da skupaj dosežemo svoje cilje.
I am honored and proud that today we will see a video presentation of Mr. Yehuda Wegman, a curator of the special exhibition from Hane Seneš house in Israel. While he will explain more about the mission of the parachutists, let me close looking into the future.
Počaščen in ponosen sem, da si bomo danes lahko ogledali video predstavitev gospoda Jehude Wegmana, ki je kustos v hiši Hane Seneš in gosti razstavo v Izraelu. Povedal bo sam kaj več o tej misiji padalcev, sam pa naj končam s pogledom v prihodnost.
Among priority goals of our countries have in common are peace and stability, climate protection, women's rights and cybersecurity. In this context, allow me to congratulate Slovenia for becoming a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council and to express Israel's support in achieving those goals.
Med prednostnimi cilji, ki so skupni našima državama, so mir in stabilnost, varovanje podnebja, ženske pravice in kibernetska varnost. V zvezi s tem bi rad čestital Sloveniji, da je postala nestalna članica Varnostnega sveta Združenih narodov in izrazil podporo Izraela pri doseganju teh ciljev.
I would like to thank everybody who contributed to today's event and would especially like to mention the orchestra of the Slovenian Army.
Še posebej se želim zahvaliti vsem, ki ste prispevali k današnjemu dogodku, pri čemer pa bi želel še posebej izpostaviti orkester Slovenske vojske.
Thank you, Madam President, for being with us today. Thank you, Mrs. Mayor, for hosting us, and thank your distinguished guests and dear friends for celebrating with us. I hope you will enjoy the event, and I wish you a pleasant summer. Toda raba, hvala lepa.
Hvala lepa, gospa predsednica, da ste danes z nami in hvala, gospa županja, da nas gostite, ter hvala vsem vam, cenjeni gostje in dragi prijatelji, da praznujete z nami. Upam, da boste danes uživali v našem dogodku, hkrati pa vam želim prijetno poletje. Toda raba, hvala lepa.
Thank you.
Tantum verde lajša bolečino in oteklino pri vnetju v ustni votlini in žrelu.
Pred uporabo natančno preberite navodilo. O tveganju in neželenih učinkih se posvetujte z zdravnikom ali s farmacevtom.
Onitek zdravilni lak za zdravljenje zmernih do blagih glivičnih okužb nohtov. Brez piljenja, brez odstranjevanja laka. Onitek. Resne težave imajo lahko tudi enostavno rešitev. Pred uporabo natančno preberite navodilo. O tveganju in neželenih učinkih se posvetujte z zdravnikom ali farmacevtom.